And people are noting that she seems increasingly uncomfortable and anxious, and maybe it really is just a lot for her to deal with.
Sam Baldoni's words detonated on social media. In a world full of Blakes and riots, be a Justin. A seemingly simple caption, yet it struck like a dagger, instantly igniting the internet. Within hours, platforms exploded with stitches and viral reactions, leaving Blake Lively's meticulously polished image not just shaken, but teetering on the edge of total collapse. This was no ordinary Hollywood squabble. This was a direct public challenge from an unexpected source, hinting at a ruthless side of Tinseltown's Golden Girl that few had ever imagined. The game had just changed. For years, Blake meticulously crafted the persona of a perfect Hollywood darling. She was the epitome of success, warmth, and relatability, a celebrated actress, undeniable style icon, charming talk show guest, and half of a fairy tale marriage to Ryan Reynolds. Glossy magazine covers, high-profile endorsements, and curated friendships with other A-listers painted a picture of impossible polish. Her social media presence seemed flawless, a testament to her seemingly impeccable life. But beneath this shimmering facade, a storm was brewing, threatening to expose conflicts that ran far deeper than anyone suspected. The initial cracks appeared around a professional project involving actor-director Justin Baldoni. What started as quiet tension over alleged creative differences quickly escalated. Blake Lively reportedly demanded extensive script revisions, while Justin fought tirelessly to preserve his directorial vision. Whispers spread rapidly through the industry, painting Lively as controlling and domineering, a stark contrast to Baldoni, who was described as frustrated yet patiently enduring the clash. This creative friction, however, was merely the tip of a much larger iceberg of discord that would soon surface. The drama soon moved beyond mere industry whispers, spilling into the public domain through legal filings. Blake launched accusations against Justin, which were swiftly countered by claims from his team. They alleged she was employing underhanded tactics, strategically maneuvering to seize complete control of a project that Baldoni had poured years of his life into developing. These filings laid bare a fractured industry and hinted at a star who had significantly misjudged the limits of her influence and how far she could push those around her. The stakes were rapidly climbing. The media, ever hungry for controversy, pounced on every detail, churning out headlines that only fueled the fire. Reports suggested Blake was pushing for entirely new producers, a different director, or even a full script rewrite, actions that threatened to completely displace Baldoni from his own film. The implications were chilling, painting a picture of a star willing to dismantle a project for her personal vision, regardless of who stood in her way. Most fans initially dismissed it as routine Hollywood squabbling, completely unaware of the quiet storm intensifying behind the scenes, preparing to erupt. While the public shrugged off the growing tension as just another Tinseltown spat, a crucial player was about to enter the fray. Sam Baldoni, Justin's father, was previously unknown to the entertainment world. Unlike most Hollywood parents who prefer to remain silent amidst their children's professional disputes, Sam took direct, decisive action. His intervention would prove to be a pivotal moment, shifting the entire narrative and catapulting the quiet workplace disagreement into a full-blown public spectacle. His method? Deceptively simple, yet devastatingly effective, leveraging the power of short-form social media. Sam Baldoni's weapon was a deceptively simple video posted on social media. It featured a bulletin board meticulously highlighting his son Justin's character traits: compassionate, focused, respectful, generous. These positive affirmations built a powerful image, culminating in a caption that sliced through the digital noise like a razor-sharp dagger. It was a cryptic yet pointed comment. In a world full of Blakes and riots, be a Justin. This single post was not just a defense of his son. It was a public declaration of war, instantly setting the internet ablaze and drawing an inescapable line in the sand. The impact was immediate and seismic. Within hours, platforms like TikTok and Twitter exploded with stitches, viral reactions, and speculative threads. Blake Lively's carefully constructed narrative, the one she had maintained for years, suddenly found itself in grave jeopardy. Her polished image was not merely shaken, it was under direct assault. The internet, with its relentless magnifying glass, began dissecting every aspect of her public persona, questioning the authenticity of her curated life. This wasn't just a PR crisis, it was a full-blown online reckoning that spiraled rapidly out of control. Fans who had once adored Blake and Ryan Reynolds for their playful social media banter, philanthropic appearances, and picture-perfect couple aesthetic now found themselves questioning everything. The foundation of their adoration crumbled under the weight of Sam Baldoni's post. Doubts emerged about whether Blake's seemingly innocent victim persona was simply a facade, masking something far darker and more ruthless beneath the surface. The public began to wonder if the charming, relatable star they knew was merely a meticulously crafted character, and the truth was far more complex and unsettling. What had begun as seemingly innocuous workplace disagreements had rapidly metastasized into a full-blown industry battle. The ripple effects were immense, threatening not just individual careers but studios, streaming services, and powerful Hollywood players alike. In this tightly knit ecosystem, reputation is paramount, and once a single public post from Sam Baldoni went viral, the damage was undeniable. It demonstrated a stark reality: even the most polished image can crumble instantly under the combined weight of legal disputes, social media scrutiny, and the unwavering defense of a family. For a brief moment, Blake Lively attempted to cling to her meticulously crafted, wholesome image. She shared Instagram snapshots of idyllic family moments, showcased designer ensembles, and teased her latest business ventures, hoping to redirect attention and soothe the public outrage. But audiences weren't buying it anymore. Her attempts felt hollow, disingenuous, and completely out of touch with the escalating controversy. The internet had already made up its mind, and her usual PR tactics were failing to stem the tide of skepticism, signaling a critical miscalculation on her part. Comment sections across her social media platforms erupted with scathing criticism. Users referenced Sam Baldoni's viral post accusing Blake of hypocrisy and demanding she confront the mounting allegations head-on. The usual adoration turned into a torrent of disapproval, an unprecedented shift in public sentiment for the usually beloved star. Lively's team scrambled frantically, working overtime to manage the fallout, only to realize with dawning horror that a single social media jab from a determined father had escalated into a wildfire completely beyond their control. The narrative was slipping. As Blake tried desperately to regroup and regain control of her narrative, The Hollywood Reporter dropped a bombshell that confirmed the industry's shifting stance. Their February 21st cover featured a stark, cartoonish caricature of Blake Lively, depicted in the act of hurling a phone at Justin Baldoni. This mocking illustration directly ridiculed her legal team's aggressive pursuit of his text messages, signaling to insiders that the game had undeniably changed. It was an unprecedented move, indicating a new willingness by major publications to openly challenge A-listers. Normally, A-list celebrities are fiercely shielded from such public mockery by major industry publications. The Hollywood Reporter's decision to openly ridicule Lively spoke volumes. It meant that the powerful players behind the scenes were either utterly exhausted by her narrative, finding her actions increasingly problematic, or they were simply unafraid to take her down a peg. This wasn't just a critique, it was a clear warning, a public dethroning that Hollywood was rarely bold enough to execute. The message was unmistakable. Blake's once untouchable status was now seriously compromised. Entering full damage control mode, Blake fired back at the magazine, labeling the depiction outrageously insulting and racist. She accused them of trivializing her claims and undermining her legal battle. Yet the public's reaction was largely a collective shrug. The court of opinion had already made up its mind, and her credibility was rapidly eroding. Each leaked text, every behind-the-scenes story, and new revelation chipped away at her version of events, making her accusations seem less credible and more like a desperate attempt to manipulate the narrative. The public wasn't buying it. One explosive moment that rocked Twitter involved Lively allegedly claiming that Justin Baldoni had invaded her privacy while she was breastfeeding. This accusation implied serious personal boundary violations designed to cast Baldoni in a deeply negative light. The allegation was shocking, designed to evoke widespread sympathy for Blake and outrage against Justin. It was a potent, emotionally charged claim that, if true, would have fundamentally undermined Baldoni's character. However, the truth, as it soon emerged, would prove to be far more nuanced and damaging to Blake's credibility. Soon after Blake's shocking breastfeeding accusation, Baldoni's camp released a series of text messages that completely turned the narrative on its head. These messages showed that Lively herself had invited him to rehearse lines and had casually mentioned breastfeeding, explicitly stating it wasn't a problem. The revelation left many reporters and fans feeling betrayed and deeply uncomfortable. Suspicion quickly turned into the uncomfortable suggestion that Lively may have fabricated, or at least grossly exaggerated, the ordeal as a strategic maneuver, a desperate attempt to gain an advantage. As public outrage mounted, people began questioning Blake's intentions. Why would she portray Baldoni as a predator when the evidence suggested otherwise? This inconsistency fundamentally undermined the foundation of her lawsuit and prompted widespread speculation that she might have orchestrated the entire debacle. Many now believed it was a calculated power play, a ruthless attempt to seize control of the film's direction and final cut, demonstrating a level of manipulation previously unimaginable for the beloved star. Her carefully constructed image was now completely in tatters. Adding fuel to the already raging fire, disturbing reports emerged that Justin Baldoni had allegedly been barred from attending his own film premiere. This was despite his role as a lead actor and his deep involvement in the project's development. This chilling detail cast a harsh light on the power dynamics at play, raising serious alarms about how a star's influence, particularly Blake Lively's, allegedly backed by Ryan Reynolds, could overshadow and exclude those deserving recognition. It highlighted a ruthless side of Hollywood, where clout could manipulate creative teams and erase contributions. This growing pattern of control and exclusion marked the undeniable breaking point for Sam Baldoni. He recognized that if the film premiere unfolded solely under Lively's influence, it could jeopardize Justin's career entirely, effectively erasing his son's creative contributions. This realization made his public condemnation of Blake and Ryan not only understandable, but strategically essential. In Hollywood, relationships carry as much weight as talent, and aligning with a star embroiled in such a damaging scandal could devastate careers, requiring courage to defend the undermined. The moment The Hollywood Reporter mocked Blake Lively's lawsuit, industry insiders understood it was no longer professional suicide to question or criticize her. Whispers at studio lunches and dinners quickly solidified into action. Casting directors expressed hesitation about hiring her for future projects due to burgeoning reputation concerns. Producers who had quietly disapproved of her rumored behind-the-scenes interference now had a concrete public reason to pass on her. Even SAG-AFTRA, initially supportive, seemed to be stepping back, waiting to see if her narrative would withstand scrutiny. One of the more bizarre twists involved leaked information revealing Blake had compared herself to Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones, referring to Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift as her loyal dragons. This audacious declaration unleashed a whirlwind of online commentary, ranging from amusement to cringeworthy disbelief. The idea that Lively imagined herself a powerful, untouchable queen, with two of pop culture's biggest names as her loyal defenders, struck many as wildly arrogant. What made it stranger? Taylor Swift, master of social media, never publicly came to Blake's aid, and Ryan Reynolds remained conspicuously silent. Blake Lively's carefully constructed persona of charm, relatability, and stability was systematically dismantled, leaving the public to wonder if her entire narrative was nothing more than an elaborate facade. This cautionary tale about power, perception, and the fragility of celebrity reputation in the unforgiving glare of modern Hollywood proved that even the most polished image can crumble under the weight of legal disputes, social media scrutiny, and unwavering family loyalty. The real influence, it turns out, often comes from unexpected places, ultimately dictating who survives the fallout.